Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mania 7K World Cup 2022. We are in the quarterfinals. We're about to start off the winner side of the bracket. I'm your host, Sparky, and I am joined today for the first time this tournament by Mint. Mint, how are you doing?
Osu!
What a way to start it off. We all love Os. And we have quite an exciting matchup for you guys today. We have South Korea, our #1 seed, going up against Canada. Truly a David versus Goliath matchup in the eyes of many. Canada fresh off a victory against Brazil, and South Korea pushing aside Switzerland 6-0 in a clean sweep for their first matchup. Mint, what do you think of this matchup going in?
This is going to be a really exciting one. These two teams have been on my eye. Like, I've been sort of following this tournament and like kind of in the background, you know, like kind of just like I haven't really. Okay, so this is my first match commentating for 7KMWC, but I have been watching the streams. I have been watching the map pools as they developed in the behind the scenes. But in terms of the players, I honestly don't really know that much about them. I know their qualifier placements and some of their scores, and I do recognize some of these names, more on the South Korean side. But from what I remember, these teams are both pretty strong. And I'm honestly, this is pretty exciting, given that, well, it's kind of new territory for me. This is 7 keys. I'm not really known as a 7 key person, but yeah, well, I'm really excited for this match overall. Very excited for the players who've made it this far, and yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, it should be a very, very exciting matchup. We have South Korea, who needs no introduction. We have Estonians, Dress Surf, YZ1155, and 0133. All very, very incredible 7 key players. And then we have Canada, Lelpop, Nunotaba, Shinobu, It's Rewind Time, Mr. Moo, all of whom put in impressive performances against Brazil to get a win in arguably what was their hardest matchup. I mean, this was Seed 8 versus Seed 9, and Canada managed to pull out that win, sending Brazil all the way down to losers bracket. But this is going to be the true test. We have South Korea. I mean, everybody, I believe for the first time, if you do pick'ems or if you follow along with the pick'ems, I think this was the first time we saw a 100% pick percentage for a team in any of the pick'ems. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, seeing a 100% this team is going to win. You usually have the 1 or 2 holdouts that like, I believe this team can take down and pull the upset. No, everybody that did the pick'ems picked South Korea to win against Switzerland, and I mean, it's with good reason. South Korea is an absolute juggernaut in terms of 7 key. And it'll be very interesting as we finally load into the map pool. We do have the rolls coming out. It looks like Canada does win the roll, 91-43. So it'll be very interesting to see what the teams decide to ban, what the dynamics are going to be. I mean, with teams such as this, I mean, South Korea probably has pick of the litter. They can pick whatever they'd like. I believe they're in the 7 key server. People were begging for these teams not to ban Phalanx. Phalanx has not been seen so far this round, with good reason. It's arguably one of the harder picks in this pool. But with that being said, let's see what they decide to go with in terms of the bans. There are no protects in this setting. Now it looks like South Korea is going to be going first for the bans.
This is very intense. I feel like South Korea could ban just anything, really.
Yeah,
but
I feel it's so hard. I mean, they're so good at all of these picks.
Oh, and they ban.
I believe that's LN2. I think they're just being a little formal with it.
Ah. So
8-bit Voyager.
Or is there a map called it? Wait, what?
Oh, the difficulty name, Lineage 2. Sorry for not noticing that, but
I didn't see that either.
Wow, so no love coming for Island Village. It's either been banned or it's just been ignored. I believe only one team has played it, or one match has seen it being played, and it looks like L99 is going to be the ban for Canada, getting rid of that core jack pick, something that...
That makes sense. That makes absolute sense.
Yeah, you don't want to get into a ratio battle with South Korea, so very understandable that Canada gets rid of a pick like that. So Canada on the bubble here first. You want to start this match off on the right foot. I mean, it's going to be a mountain to climb, but I mean, if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and there is no better team to test your mettle against than South Korea, and it looks like Mojito is going to be the first pick.
All right,
LN3.
LN pick straight out of the bat. Very strategically well planned, given that South Korea banned an LN map. I would imagine that first pick being an LN map would be kind of common sense, I suppose. Obviously, it matters. Well, context in regards to the maps matters, but just with that surface level analysis, I guess it makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, and with Mojito, it's very much a tale of two ends of the LN spectrum. Mojito very much coordination based versus the density that we see on the other side of the LN pool. And Canada's been showing some propensity for these LN picks. They found a lot of success against Brazil in those picks in the round of 16, so unsurprising that they want to start off with that first. Maybe pull a bit of a fast one on South Korea. So it looks like it's Rewind Time and Lelpop are going to be the ones coming in, and Estonians and Dress Surf coming in for South Korea. And I mean, this song is just
right now, so I'm just like,
take a moment to digest it.
I've never seen this map in particular, but if it's coordination based, then
yeah, it's got that.
I wouldn't be too confident just knowing what I know. I don't know that much, but I wouldn't be too confident with this.
I mean, you gotta start somewhere. I mean, if you're gonna,
sure, yeah,
you gotta win those 6 points. Sure. So, I mean, this is probably the lesser of all the evils of the picks and the map pool. And with regards to LN1 being banned, this is probably the next best pick for them. If Island Village hadn't been banned, that might have been the first pick. But regardless, the players are ready. They are loaded into the map. Let's get this winner's bracket on the road. Now, already right off the bat, it's Rewind Time having a bit of difficulty with the accuracy here, dropping down all the way to 97 right off the bat. Lelpop following with a miss, a couple of misses here. Not looking very comfortable. I wonder what's going on there. He's dropping a lot of accuracy.
These two players on the Canadian side are a very interesting case study of how players manage LNs. One player having, I guess, decent accuracy, but not in comparison to the South Korean team, unfortunately. And the other player is just missing a lot because I guess like releasing early, it seems. And that's like the two different ways that most players will approach this kind of map, especially on 7 keys. And I've noted this quite frequently, and it's honestly, this is something that you can see from the get-go. Even like when you're just getting into 7 keys, you're introduced to a map like this, and you immediately fall into one or two categories. And I think that's really interesting that these two players fall into that. And it does look like Rewind Time is actually gaining accuracy, quickly climbing back up to the 99 almost, just about. But that's not going to be enough, it seems. Well, we are halfway through the map, but it is going to take quite a lot of damage on the South Korean team for Canada to be able to get back on track.
Yeah, and while you were discussing that dichotomy of the Canadian players, I mean, Estonians did drop a couple of notes here and there in that first half, but I mean, the accuracies on South Korea really carrying them through here and growing quite a hefty lead over Canada right now, ballooning to almost 200,000 points. It looks like Lelpop struggles on this, and Dresser following up with a miss of his own. So all the full combos except for It's Rewind Time are off the board, but it's going to take a lot more. And rather than say that, It's Rewind Time does follow. There are no more FCs left on this map, and I mean, Lelpop's difficulties on this map have really been put on display here. South Korea cruising right now with only a sliver of map left to a very comfortable break point. Not a lot of map left here for Canada. And yeah, it's just, this map is taking Lelpop for a bit of a ride. You wonder if it's either the nerves or maybe just a bit uncomfortable with the coordinating of the releases, but it just seems like the density is getting a bit too much for them right now.
Coordination in general is just very difficult on 7 keys.
Yeah, it's quite a tall task, and it just seems like this might have been a bit of a mispick for Canada, which is unfortunate, but I mean, South
You
Korea
gotta
gonna
do
be
what
able
you
to
gotta
take that.
do,
You
right?
gotta do it. Yep. And South Korea takes the first point of this match. Quick 1-0 and a break point to top it all off.
121 misses. That is quite a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and it looks like they did have keyboard issues, so
Oh no.
that's very unfortunate.
Oh
You do not.
yeah. That is definitely an issue, not being able to hold down more than 6 keys. That is what they're referring to, by the way, for those of you who don't
Oh,
know.
the 6KRO stands for 6-key rollover, so he cannot hold more than 6 keys in a row. So in a map like this, and in a key mode like this, it is imperative that you can hold more than 6 keys down. That is incredibly unfortunate. There couldn't be a worse time for that to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that totally explains the amount of misses. It wasn't down to uncomfortableness, it was just a mechanical issue. So hopefully they can get that corrected as we go on to
Well,
the rest of the match.
there were definitely some, I guess, like issues beyond that, but to be completely fair, this sort of coordination map is extraordinarily difficult, and it's even more difficult when you're missing when you feel like you shouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's like it's one thing
so
to miss, it's
all of
one thing
those things
to
added on top of each other,
yeah, it just throws
just
you off your
results in
game.
this kind of unfortunate, yeah.
And with that being said, South Korea does have their pick in. It is gonna be Shojuga Mita, otherwise known as Alice. A lot of players have been referring to it as Alice, and they're gonna go right into that rice pool. So already seeing a bit of strategy differences here. Canada's vying for those LNs. South Korea is gonna take it on the rice, and you feel like with a team like South Korea and their qualifier scores and their round of 16 performances, we're gonna see some incredible ratios. You would hope.
Oh, for sure. This one's gonna be quite the matchup. I can already see it.
Yeah, would not be surprised if we saw a couple of double S or really low 200 count, 300 count performances. It looks like Mr. Moo is going to be coming in for Canada, tagging in for them. So looks like the players are ready. Love it when we have quick turnovers. Oh wait, hold on. Lelpop wants to check their keyboard, see if it's fixed. Don't want to go in to a second map with those 6-key rollover issues, especially with some of these chords requiring all 7 keys. Everybody put up the prayer emojis for Lelpop's keyboard. Want to make sure we have as few mechanical issues as possible.
Mr. Moo!
That is quite the name there.
Can
Definitely
we
rolls
get
off
a
the tongue.
in chat? Alright, looks like the MP start command has gone out and we're getting right into it shortly.
Yep, map number 2 of this quarterfinals matchup. A lot on the line here. You would love to go into semifinals weekend on the winner's side. But that being said, I mean, no harm, no foul if you do end up dropping. You do have the losers bracket to contend with. So that being said, that's a totally different problem for later. And we are loaded into the map, giving Bancho a second to sync up. Let's see how they do.
And this is Chord Streams, right?
I believe so, yes. This is...
Alright, so yeah, definitely either going to be a physicality battle or an accuracy battle. I guess it's probably in between. Oh, and it's flickering, so, well, I mean, we're just starting off, but...
Yeah, but this bodes well for Canada.
Yeah.
If they can hold tight and keep it within striking distance. If it's not going to come down to accuracy, maybe they can hold on to the combo. That's really what got them through that matchup with Brazil, being able to hold on to the combos despite the accuracy and just hope for some misses from the other side. And there it is, right on cue. Estonians does drop.
There's one miss there, and now they managed to keep their accuracies close enough so that when South Korea missed here, oh no.
Okay, so advantage back to South Korea, and that accuracy advantage, that miss from Estonians was very clean.
That is the risk you take. missing later rather than missing earlier actually gives a greater disadvantage.
Yeah, and on Mr. Blue and Lopop,
Ow!
right on cue, on the same note. Both their full combos are gone, so this lead for South Korea is only going to grow. They both have the accuracy advantage over their Canadian counterparts, so this lead is only going to balloon from here. Getting back to that 400 combo cap is Canada. As we get into the last third of the map, there is not a lot of map to contend with, and right now this lead is growing quickly for South Korea. Only a quarter of the map left.
Oh my
into
god.
the more
we
dense
still
sections.
have an FC from Dresser, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, holding on to that 99.85. Lopop finding a couple more misses, these transitions. Giving him a bit of trouble here, but nowhere near as much trouble as that first map. Looks like the keyboard issues did get corrected. Only an eighth of the map left, and the ratios are dropping. You see a couple 200s coming out of the Canadian side. This is not going to be enough. We need a collapse, but there's not a lot of map left. Looks like South Korea is going to be able to take their own point if all things hold steady here. Oh my goodness,
And
Dresser.
even with that miss, Estonians manages such a high score there. The 987. 987 with a miss is no easy feat.
Absolutely. Beat the Canada scores, even with the miss, and that score from Dresser is scary. 7/200s overall on a map like that is absolutely ridiculous, and South
I think
Korea is
what's
going to
even more scary is that ratio.
Yeah, oh my goodness. And South Korea is going to take a quick 2-0 lead now over Canada.
Canada really needs to think quick and think hard for this next pick. Oh, and they
Wasting 0 time. 8-bit Voyager is going to be the pick.
We love to see it.
They have lived by the LN, they will die by the LN. And we're going to get into the density side of these LN picks. 8-bit Voyager is no slouch of a pick. And we're going to see its rewind time coming back in for Mr. Moose. So it looks like we do have Lelpop staying in, going to be the one really trying to hold it down for Canada right now. Going up against Dresser and Estonians.
We're back to the same roster as we saw in the previous long note pick.
Yeah, but this time Lelpop has fixed his keyboard, so should hopefully, cross our fingers, be a bit of a closer matchup this time. It remains to be seen though, the players are ready. And we are loaded into the map. Just giving Banjo a bit of a second. Looks like we're good to go.
Alright, we are in!
And right off the bat, Lopop finding a quick miss very early on, right before the 400 combo cap, so no harm, no foul, but you don't want to be spotting a team like South Korea any unnecessary misses, especially very early on in the map. Both of them holding on to very incredible 99%. Canada in that low 99, high 98% range here, so South Korea going to hold on to a very early advantage going into the second quarter of this map. Going to be a bit of a catch-up game here for Canada. 99.0, 98.3 for Lelpop and its rewind time. Going to take a couple of misses from South Korea's end if they want to make any headway into this lead that South Korea has grown into this first third of the map. And here comes the build-up. And its rewind time drops on the transition.
Oh my god. And with density like this, you blink and you miss like 1,000 combo. And,
yeah, it's so easy, especially with transitions like that. Already halfway into the map, and right now both South Koreans holding on to their full combos. Canada struggling just a little bit on this dense LN pick. I mean, I said it before this matchup, they live by the LN, they're going to die by the LN. Yeah, struggling on these transitions, the density does increase in the second half of the map. And it looks like Canada with the 98s versus the 99s, full percent behind from both players to their South Korean counterparts. A quarter of the map left, that rewind time is going to drop on the break.
Oh, that was a really unfortunate miss there.
Yeah,
and
but I think
how are the South Korean team still managing 2 FCs? That is incredible.
Yeah,
on a map like this, no less.
Yeah, they're having the runs of their life right now. This lead has quickly become very insurmountable. There's only a sliver of map left. and it would take a lot. And Estonians does drop. The FC is gone for one of the South Koreans, but it's gonna take a lot more than that. An unfortunate choke at the end for Estonians, but it's not gonna be enough for Canada to come back into this. And South Korea is gonna go up 3-0 now.
Still a really impressive play despite that miss, and the Canadian team definitely held up their ground really well as well. 2 misses, 7 misses. That is like
It's nothing to scoff at.
Like no misses.
Like those are really good runs in the grand scheme of things, but just given the magnitude of their opponents,
the difference of the ratio, that's just like huge.
Yeah,
It's just
and
like, especially given that the note count is just naturally going to be greater because it's a 7K LN map. I guess it's natural for the ratios to be differing from such a large quantity, but I guess the scores were like not as far apart as the numbers played, I suppose, because of the sheer quantity.
And Mint, can you believe it? It went unbanned for the first time, I believe, this round. We are going to see Phalanx played on
Someone
stream.
Someone is going to be really happy about this.
There is a subset of people incredibly happy to see this map come out. I think Evening right now, wherever they are, is just hopped out of bed screaming in excitement right now. And we do see some tag-ins coming in for both teams. It looks like YZ1155 is going to make a cameo appearance for South Korea. Mr. Moo coming back in for Canada to contest his rice pick. So now Phalanx. We haven't seen it here. It's definitely one of the harsher rice picks in this pool. Definitely an order of magnitude harder than the rest of the picks in the context of this map pool. There's a lot of very awkward patterning. It's very techy. There's very abrasive patterning that's really going to test these players. And it'll be very interesting to see. Yeah, you can see the players in the lobby are very excited to see this map come out. But with that being said, in the grand scheme of things, it is still 3-0 to South Korea. Canada needs to find a foothold in this match. They're going to have to take some breakpoints away from South Korea, which getting a point against South Korea is already hard. Getting breakpoints against South Korea feels almost a Herculean task, but they've got to do it. They've got to do it to keep their winners bracket hopes alive right now. The players are ready. They are loaded into the map. Let's see what happens here.
So what kind of map is this?
This is, I would call it techie. I mean, there's a lot of chord string
I do remember looking at this, or at least an older version of this, and it had a lot of rolls, I think.
Yeah, it's very rolly. There's a lot of very hand-dependent patterning.
Rolls?
Yeah, it's just overall very abrasive compared to the rest of the map pool, and it looks like the accuracies are suffering a little bit across the board.
Wow.
YZ, this lead isn't insurmountable for Canada right now. Dresser with the highest accuracy in the lobby, 99.6 right now, versus the 99.1 of Mr. Moo. So right now we have cross map battles going on. Mr. Moo versus Dresser of YZ1155 versus it's rewind time in terms of if you want to keep track of who's battling against who. And Mr. Moo drops in that transition.
The players are definitely handling it pretty well, for as much as people, I guess, like put this map off as being hard for the map pool.
Yeah, and Mr. Moo, right before the break here, players are probably going to see their scores right now. They're going to see that South Korea has about a 20,000 point lead going into the back half of the map, and this only gets more abrasive as we go on. So we do have one full combo left in here, and it's YZ1155. See if they can hold on to that as we get into the last third of the map.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these grace notes are incredibly tough to manage, keeping the ratio, keeping the accuracy on these sweeps, and its rewind time gets caught out by them.
Those
it's only going to help South Korea here. Yeah, and they only get worse from here. South Korea holding on to a very
stair
massive.
Let's go. I love stairs.
They're incredible, and right now South Korea holding on to that 100,000 point advantage as we get into the last quarter of the map. Gonna take quite a couple of misses coming out from either YZ or Dresser.
Miss from Mr. Moo.
Unfortunate there. A quarter of the map left, and both Canadians down in the 98s right now, a full percent behind their South Korean counterparts yet again. Not able to hold on to the combo, not able to hold on to the accuracies.
Woo! It's like a bunch of stairs.
Yeah, the kitchen sink gets thrown at you on this map. It's no wonder that this map has been banned by so many teams so far this round. And right now, a couple more misses from the Canadians, and that's probably going to steal the point up with only a sliver of map left. South Korea on their way to a 4th point here, and it's dire straits for Canada. They're going to have to think of something quick here to try and break the momentum that South Korea has been building up. And that is it. South Korea, a commanding victory there.
1.97, what a ridiculous, oh my god.
One miss from Dresser, and that came very early on in the map. That ratio is absolutely filthy. 563 hundreds is 980,000 from both South Koreans is just, what? Just mind-boggling.
Oh,
it's no wonder that they're the first seed. It's no wonder that everybody looks to this team to be the heavy favorites going into this World Cup, and they are proving it right now.
And I just want to point out, it feels very early in the tournament, but this is quarterfinals. I guess top 8?
Top 8?
12, something like that. Top 8 would be in the winners bracket. So, this, I guess it might be like, most people, at least like in terms of like being able to look into a tournament for like, I guess the first time in a few weeks, and just be like, okay, so this is kind of like still early game, but no, this is not early game for these players for sure.
Yeah,
they're quite impressive. Even with a 98 on this kind of map, it's very, very difficult to attain. And I just want to say it's like way beyond reach for a lot of players, but you know,
these players make it look so easy.
Hopefully this could be like some sort of like motivation, you know? You can get there, you know? Like you can keep playing, you know? And just like, it's like, wow, these players are so inspirational. Being able to face South Korea, some of the best players in the world, in this sort of setting, it's like, wow, how incredible that must be.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very encouraging watching teams like this go at it. I mean, being able to pit some of the best players in the world against each other and being able to see how you stack up against them is absolutely inspirational. And it looks like we're going to see Canada's pick come out. It's going to be the passage of time. We're going to dip into the hybrids. The LNs hadn't been working out, so let's see if a change of pace here can give Canada a bit of an entryway here against South Korea. We're going to see Lelpop and Mr. Moo come in. And it looks like Estonian's going to tag back in to pair up with YZ1155.
Alright. We got a Dabby map incoming, it looks like. So that's exciting.
Yeah. And it looks like, just based on the lobby chat, maybe Lelpop's computer might have crashed. They might just be stuck in the lobby. Oh boy, hopefully we can get that sorted out very quickly. You wouldn't want to... It's already hard enough, but it looks like, no, it looks like they're fine. Looks like the players are ready. We are going to load into this map. Not going to have any technical issues. At least no more technical issues from the side of Canada.
Okay, so it does look like Lelpop is alive.
Yes.
And able to play.
Which is very good.
Yeah. Brief moment of panic over.
And here we go, the 5th pick of the match. Right now, South Korea holding that very dominant 4-0 advantage. Let's see if Canada can make any headway on this very tricky hybrid pick.
Starting off with some really tricky long notes.
Yeah, the coordination here is not to be understated as Mr. Moo finds the first miss very early on in the map. Lelpop dropping some accuracy there. Some of the releases not faring too well for them. YZ1155 also dropping a bit of accuracy. Estonia is holding on to the highest accuracy in the lobby, 99.7 as we get into the second quarter of the map. And this is a very, very tricky hybrid pick, these LN patterns, thrown at you
This is
interspersed
really
with the
abrasive,
rise.
especially with those mini jacks embedded in those long nut patterns.
Yeah, and Mr. Moo's gonna find another miss here, and it's gonna help South Korea
These
grow their lead a
releases,
bit.
oh my god.
Yeah, the staggered releases.
And a miss from YZ.
Not the biggest lead right now, but it is growing for South Korea. The accuracy from Estonians really making the difference here as we get into the halfway point of the map. 99.6, the highest in the lobby, followed closely behind by YZ 1155. That earlier miss, not doing that much damage in terms of accuracy. Canada holding on to the low 99s right now. Still within striking distance. Yeah, Lopop is holding the FC right now, but it's going to take a couple of misses from South Korea to give Canada any headway, and there's a start. YZ does drop, but so long as Estonians can hold on, yeah, either another miss or just some accuracy drops from Estonians.
Ooh.
Oh, and Lopop and YZ trade.
They miss at the same time.
But Mr. Moo follows it up afterwards.
No.
That's not what you want to see if you're a Canadian fan. These trades only help South Korea right now. And this map is winding down, only an eighth of the map left, and it looks like it's gonna be...
It's just approaching that end.
Yeah, we're running out of notes
close.
very quickly.
We're back at the... Oh! And Estonia's misses! Oh my
right
god!
At the end!
Just at the last second!
Oh, that's a choke if I've ever seen
Four
one. Just
misses?
one chord.
Is that four
One
misses?
chord.
Oh my god!
Oh boy. Bit of a
No
finger fumble
way.
there, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter. And basically in FC, we'll just put our finger over the 4 and we're good. Estonians FC'd that. The score is just a little off. And South Korea takes their 5th point of the match.
Mr. Moo's score actually has a better 200 count and very similar ratio, I would say.
Yeah, it's really just the score difference between Estonians and Lopop that made the difference. But Mr. Moo able to hold on there. So I mean, they're close. Like they're just a step behind South Korea right now. But I mean, on any given day, if South Korea has an off day, I mean Canada's right there. But unfortunately, it just hasn't been going their way. And right now, South Korea already on match point, going for Popper's Chronicle. Staying with these rice picks.
Alright. Lenpai map. 2 minutes, 6 stars. What are we in for?
We are in for very, very varying amounts of rice patterning.
Alright, so super mixed?
It's very mixed. It tests all facets of your rice skills. And it just shifts, like if you feel the mood shift in the song and the patterning starts to change, and it's very, very jarring if you're not prepared for it. But I mean, with players of this caliber, they're probably prepared for anything.
We're in for a treat then. Dresser
Yes.
making a comeback and Estonians remaining in the lobby. This is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, and Mr. Moo and Lopop are gonna stay in. Oh wait, they're inviting 0133.
Let's go!
So
the funny number.
Yes, 0133 making a cameo appearance, it looks like, for South Korea to hopefully finish off this match for South Korea.
I am very glad
Mr.
that
Moo,
all the players are able to have some sort of screen time here. Very nice.
Absolutely, and Mr. Moo asked the most important question in the lobby. Can they play with the 4-key mod?
Yes! The answer is yes!
It has been ordained. They are allowed to play with the 4-key mod. It is not going to change anything in terms of the play field, but they can at least turn it on, maybe. So it looks like It's Rewind Time is going to be subbing in for Lopop here for Canada. And yes, Mr. Moo can play with the 4-key mod.
Let's go!
Let's see what happens. But with that being said, just sorting out some more lobby logistics, making sure everybody's ready, got the mods on, gotta make sure the scroll speed's right. And we should be getting in there.
For anyone in the chat who's out of the loop, the 4K mod or any key mod, keyword mod, does not actually affect any Mania specific maps. It only affects converts. So maps that were made for Osu Standard that are converted into Osu Mania by selecting the mode in your game. The key mods affect those and do not affect maps that are actually made for specific key modes. And all of these maps in these pools
Are made
will be...
specifically for 7
Yeah,
key.
exactly. They're made
Yep.
specifically for 7 key.
So even though you see the mod icon up there in the corner, it doesn't change a thing. These guys are still playing 7 key. This is still the 7 key World Cup. And it looks like South Korea is going to eke out a very early advantage here just based on the accuracy alone. Faring very well in that intro. And what is potentially the last pick of this match. South Korea on match point in this winner's bracket matchup. And we hear it with the song, the tone shifts and suddenly the patterning gets a lot more abrasive. We see a lot more stair patterns coming out, a lot of more chord streams coming out. Followed by a bit of a break. It quickly ramps back up and 0133 is going to find the first miss of the match. But the accuracy difference right now, the It's Rewind Time versus 0133 battle is still raging on. 0133 is going to be building back up to that 400 combo cap, but Canada's going to be able to make some headway in this lead. If they could hold on to their combos here.
Some sort of mashup?
I believe so, but It's Rewind Time is not faring very well with those chord jacks there, those anchors. And that's going to help South Korea balloon their lead right there. I don't know what happened there. That was a bit of a rest section, and it seems to take him for quite a bit of a ride there as we get into the back half of the map. Mr. Mu following closely behind with the next miss. And the door is quickly closing for Canada here. 0133 finding another miss, but...
banned the chord jack pick, this is definitely the second last map that they would want to play.
Exactly. It's definitely a very challenging pick in and of itself as we get into the last quarter of the map. 99.8 for Dress Surf right now, 99.5 for 0133. Both of them holding accuracy advantages over their Canadian counterparts, and the door is quickly closing for Canada to make any headway in this map. You feel like they're running out of time to make any sort of impact. I feel like the ball is not in their court right now. It is up to South Korea to drop this lead right now, hand the advantage back over to Canada. It doesn't look like they're wanting to do that. Dresser still holding on to the full combo, the only full combo left in the match.
And after all that, maintaining a 99.77 is quite the feat.
Absolutely, it'll be very interesting to see what the ratio was at the end, and it looks like it is done. South Korea take the match 6-0, 5 200s, and just like I said, put your finger over the 50. Just that one doesn't exist. 992. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, congratulations to both teams for moving on to semifinals. South Korea being moved up to winners semifinals, while Canada now pushed to the losers bracket, and I guess we will see the bracket soon, probably.
Maybe. Very big congratulations for South Korea. The juggernaut rolls on. Canada tried their best to try and take a point away from our #1 seed, but unfortunately we're unable to. Congratulations,
Huge congratulations again. This is a very exciting match, and yeah, can't wait for more.
Yep, and like you said, it's like this is not the end of the road for both teams. Canada will advance to the semifinals in the losers bracket. South Korea going on in the winners bracket, the first winners bracket winner here. And Mint, I'm a fan of South Korea, and I want to show my support. How would I go about doing that?
I know, pick me.
Mint, tell me how I can support teams like South Korea.
Banners!
Yep, the banners are in the store. If you go to the O store right now, you can support your favorite team, whether it be South Korea, whether it be Canada, whether it be a team that's already been eliminated. You can show your support, buy those banners, and help improve the prize pool for the teams, and show your support for events like this. We're so glad to have the 7 Key World Cup back, and we want to be able to put on more of these amazing shows for you guys. As you can see the bracket on screen, South Korea will be facing the winner between Philippines and Thailand in the semifinals, and it'll be very interesting to see who Canada goes up against in the losers bracket. And as we hover over that, they're going to go up against Spain.
We need more banners. Guys, I want everyone to link their profile now. And in a few seconds, I want all of you guys to have banners. I want to see your favorite country. I want to see your favorite country on your profile right now. Do it.
Yes, super exciting. And we will have another match for you guys in about 3 hours at 7 UTC. But as for us, we hope you've enjoyed watching this match. That'll be it from us. We will see you guys in about 3 hours. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye!
Drop it.